Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Harmony Tier pre-show. I am Mr. Yeti. Joining me tonight, we have NPC and making his debut as part of the podcast analyst team, Harmony Giant. Welcome to both of you guys. Let's get this pre-show underway. Breaking down two teams here. We got Firefight, brand new to the community. We got Modify. Let's start off with Firefight. NPC, tell us a little bit about Firefight.
Firefight is a new team made out of some veteran players. We actually have Takanam, fantastic Masters level tank, focusing on coaching this season. He's with that Firefight crew, doing a lot of work down there. Both Taki and Mello made Caprophobia, but decided to focus on coaching instead of playing. So they're going to have a dedicated coach in their chat during match day, and that's going to be a real big help for them. So when they picked up Halvar, a lot of these people are real life friends. So like they brought in other people that they knew, that kind of thing. Drew is going to be their flex tank, ball player, that kind of thing. There's a lot going on, and they picked up Halvar. Halvar played with Seraph last season, picked up quite a bit there, or actually played with Seraph and Karma season 4, actually, I should say. And they just, they're bringing a lot of that same energy from there. They've got kind of a Junkrat specialist. They got flex support. They got a lot of stuff going on here. Potato is their flex support. They're trying to bring in a couple more. Right now they have 7 players on their roster. They need to bring in one more to kind of round that out just to make sure. But they're looking pretty solid.
All right. HG, what can you tell me about Modify?
Modify is their 3rd season. They're a pretty strong team. They won season 4. They were the runners up in season 5, and now they're here for season 6. So I think it's an exciting time for them to kind of bring things in. Should be interesting. They have a couple new players in Beans and Delirious Owl, or Dev, as some people know her, and everyone else is off rolling. So it should be kind of a fun time to see how these veteran players on this team, Hagel, Super, and Wit, kind of change up their roles and make things different for themselves.
Modify, it's the same. It's a lot of the same faces, but it's still a new team when you really, really get down to it. Let's talk about some of these players on this team. NPC, who stands out to you as the most important, the most valuable player on Firefight?
Oh, gosh, on Firefight, it's probably going to be Kura, their hit scan player. Fantastic at pretty much all the hit scan, DPS, McCree, Widowmaker, even a little bit of Hanzo, stuff like that. So I'm going to expect to see a lot of range play coming out of Kura.
All right. What about you, Harmony Giant? Who stands out to you on that Modify squad?
I think for me, it's their main tank, Instante. Instante. That's a hard name to pronounce, but I think they do a really good job. It's their 3rd season. I think they're only going to go up from there.
Instante now has been a all-star in the Harmony tier here this past season, a huge part of their championship run in season 4. Moving now to a workhorse, which player is basically just doing all the hard work and just kind of invaluable to the team's success? NPC, who do you got?
Probably Halvar, in-game leader, kind of like comms and everything for that team, kind of team organization wise. It's got to be Halvar. Obviously the coaches can't talk during the game, so they need someone on the field, and that's going to be the captain, Halvar.
Harmony Giant, what about you?
Much like the MVP, I think your workhorse has to be Instante. He's dominant. He's a great main tank. And honestly, I think if you're going to give an MVP to him, you got to make him your workhorse.
I would agree with that. Instante is again, the bastion of that team, has always been kind of a staple member of that squad. Who NPC stands out to you? Who's the most underrated player? Who's the player that's going to be kind of squeezing under the radar for that Firefight team?
That's going to be Strong Bear. He's kind of their off-tank player. Strong Bear is actually IRL friends with Halvar. I kind of mentioned that before. Everybody on that team has got at least one IRL friend that they're playing with. So I think that synergy there, playing with your friends and, actually spending time with people you want to spend time with, is going to help that team. Strong Bear comes in at 2068, just above the floor for the tier, but getting better every day. And I feel like, through the course of the season, we're going to see Strong Bear make an impact, but right now nobody's talking about him.
What about you, Harmony Giant? Who do you think?
I think the underrated player on Modify is Whit Mitten, or Whit for short. I think that it's interesting because he used to play support, and that's what he's known for, especially his Lucio and Mercy. But this time around, he's playing his off tank, and I think that he'll do a very good job on that role. But it's going to be interesting to see how he does on a different role completely.
Whit Mitten, longtime captain and GM of that team, now Hall of Fame nominee this season, Whit Mitten. All right, guys, let's just get down to the brass tacks of the situation. Who is going to win this match? What will be our final score? NPC, who do you got?
You know, originally, because I played Modify last week, I originally said Modify was going to win this. But now I'm looking at the numbers. It's going to be a close one. And I'm actually thinking maybe Firefight's going to come out on top here. I think it's going to be 3-1, but it's going to be a close 3-1.
Right. Harmony Giant, what do you got for your prediction here?
So I give a prediction, and as you probably saw it during the podcast, I think Firefight's going to take the upset and win 3-2. It's going to be a battle, but I think Firefight will come out on top.
All right, 2 predictions for Firefight. Both casters here picking the upset. I personally got Modify sweeping this one in a 3-0, actually, not a 4-0. Because apparently
get a draw. Do it.
I gotta have a draw. I gotta channel it for Bard this week, guys. But hey, we're playing the match here in just a few moments, so stay tuned. This Harmony Tier feature match for week 2 is coming up just around the corner.
Okay, getting the first pick. Oh, get 3, Pyro, get 3 with the
Wade Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Announce tranquility.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Overwatch Tranquility. We have a wonderful Harmony tier match for you tonight of Modify facing off against Fire Force. I am going to be your play-by-play caster for the night. Bard, Fire, Fight. There's too many fire teams. Modify facing off against Fire, Fight. I will be your play-by-play caster for the night. Bard, and I am joined by Vincent. How you doing, Vincent?
Oh man, I'm doing good. I'm kind of excited to see how things are going in the Harmony tier. I have yet to cast anything with you guys yet. My debut tonight, and I think this is perfect way to start things out. Thank you. I appreciate the applause. But yeah, it should be interesting. And Firefight, as you so graciously clarified, versus Modify, you know, kind of a David versus Goliath matchup, I think is kind of how I'm going to run with this at the very least. Modify looking very strong in the last couple of seasons, but Firefight are looking to be on the come up, on return, won their first matchup as well, so that helps things out. And listen, no bias here on the casting desk. I know that you're definitely not supporting, you know, your home team at the very least of Modify over there. Is that right?
I mean, Modify are a bunch of feeders, so it'd be hard for me to support them. But
okay.
But no. I'm up front. I am a part of their org. I don't play on the team, but yeah, Modify coming off of 2 very strong seasons, winning season 4, finalists in season 5, and now coming into season 6 with, I think, something to prove. They made some roster changes, some role swaps, and Firefight coming in here, new team with a couple veterans in the lineup, and they're looking here to make a statement by beating Modify early on.
Yeah, I mean that is the goal at the very least, and I'm going to be excited to kind of look at that. On paper, this matchup should be a fairly close one, I think. Pretty much these two teams basically head to head right next to each other, at least on the ranked ladder matchup. You know, that doesn't always tell the full story, fair enough, but definitely it can be a good place to start, and that's usually what I take it as. So I think could be interesting. And of course, best of 5, we are starting on Nepal, I believe, or that's what the lobby is telling me, and I am getting that confirmation as well. So Nepal start, and this map, I mean, it kind of sets the tone, at least for me. I don't know about you, Bard, but you can basically play anything here depending on what stage we go to first, and it's always interesting, to say the least, especially in this meta. I mean, it's kind of like, well, just throw something at the wall, see if it sticks. And that's the meta right now, especially when, you know, you're not at like the GM plus type of level. It's a lot more, you know, questionable what the right thing to play is. So I think we could see just about anything moving into today.
Yeah, it is going to be just very interesting to see how these two teams shake out. We've only seen a little bit from highlights and from personal streams for both teams, but it looks like both teams gonna go for some very different compositions here. Modify, they want to run that brawl with the Rein, D.Va, Mei, Sim. They want to get on point and control it, whereas Firefight, they're pulling out a very interesting monkey ball dive, it looks like, with the Pharmercy.
Yeah, that is really interesting, specifically with the Pharmercy, I think. Not something you always see, but look at the opposing composition. There's nothing to shoot that far. So this far sticks. I mean, it could be very, very strong, all things considered, as Truster is swapping over on to the Tracer. Just wanted to get things out and get things going a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and here they are, Modify, taking this first fight on the point, getting displaced a bit by that Wrecking Ball, but they're where they want to be. They're on that objective point, and HAL 9000 on the Zenyatta is going to take down Delirious Owl early. You Can't See Me takes down Hagel, and this is going to be a quick first fight for this monkey ball dive. The Pharah Poke is just going to be too strong with that Zenyatta to back them up, and Firefight are going to take this first fight.
There's just so much damage coming through, and even with the increased healing potential that the opposing squad has, I mean, it's just not enough. The reality is that Moira is not going to be able to heal up the Pharah Poke, plus on top of that, like you said, the Discord Orb available. So now, coming back in, it's really going to be maybe some swap-ups. We're going to be swapping over onto the D.Va. maybe to deny some of that aerial superiority that we've been seeing from the Pharah thus far.
Yeah, Beans as well swapping to the Reaper to try and shut those tank down. And Owl and Super swapping over to the Ashe Mercy. And as I say that, Whitman chases down HAL 9000 on the Zenyatta, takes him down. Beans gets traded out by the Pharah, but gets rezzed. And Whitman taking out Josh on the Pharah. They are going to get resurrected by Potato, but not before Instante takes down Strong Bear. And this fight is flipping back over in the favor of Modify, who've taken the point as well. And now, once again, they are set up to control this objective point with the Reinhardt and the Reaper, and Super just has to be careful of this Discord Orb while he hunts down this Pharmacy.
I'm a big fan of the way that Firefight didn't really try and re-engage there without their full team. They lost players, now waiting for those to get back, and now looking to re-engage with the ball in the back line. Perfectly played there.
Yeah, you can't see me getting that disruption out. There goes the mines, and there's 3 trades for Firefight to take down Super, Beans, and Owl. That's a lot of the damage gone. The Coalesce coming out from Hagel, just trying to hold on to this point for as long as they can to stall this out and get that percentage. But this next fight is going to go to Firefight, and they're going to flip it over with Modify at about 45%.
Yeah, nearly tying things up, though, all things considered. So Modify definitely not going to be having a problem with that trade out of the charge on the point. With that said, though, that was such a strong dive coming through from Strong Bear. It was super impressive, just basically denying everyone on the high ground. And
Ooh,
that's frustrating.
Josh with this sneaky barrage takes down 3. One of them being the D.Va, and that is not going to let Modify recontest here.
I mean, listen, you don't even need to engage, right? Like, it just easy does it. Use the 1 ultimate and clean things up. So that's like an additional 20% just gained on this point. And so now it's just going to have to be perfection coming through from Modify if they want to retake, because it's approaching last fight territory here.
Yeah, oh, Schuster with a big pulse bomb takes down Hagel. The pile driver comes in as the res goes through, and that does come out here, but Josh is just landing down so much damage. There is the bomb to clear main, and they are forced to play natural cover for a second, which lets Bob get the objective point, and Bob takes down 2! Bob's doing something! Super gets both supports with a well-placed Bob ultimate. He gets traded out by the Wrecking Ball, but Bob is still on point to take this space, and they are up with a healing advantage here. Beans just has to deny any space for these tanks to come in, and he is going to do that, it looks like. So Modify are going to hold on to control for now while this Wrecking Ball just continues to look for space. The Monkey as well up in the high ground, and this fight just has not ended yet. Beans is going to chase, though, takes him down, and now they have to contest the point against this Wrecking Ball with those mines. That objective point is so hard for them to take, as Super is just trying to take Josh out, but he gets traded. You can't see me. Trades out onto Hagel, and now it is just the Mercy on point to keep them up. The res comes out. They do get the res, but the Death Blossom gets 2. Beans takes out Potato and Schuster, and this fight is back and forth. And who is going to take it? It looks like Modify is holding for now, as the Reaper is still there on the point to pressure down this Winston, but there goes the barrage and the trance. The barrage is going to D-mech the D.Va, but they don't get any solid picks. It's only the D-mech for now. Whitman as a baby D.Va is going to take out Strong Bear. Josh is going to trade it out, and we are at 99. It is OT. They cannot leave this objective point. Instante just swinging. Super Polar made his way back, and now Instante is just trying to keep his team up, not let them give up this objective point. Reinhardt trying to be steadfast. He takes out Potato. The Reinhardt takes out the Pharmacy, and the Tracer forced to recall here for Firefight. This is going so close as Schuster is just trying to take the space as the Wrecking Ball comes back, but Owl coming back on this Lucio takes him out, and here is the D.Va bomb. That's so much zoning pressure, forcing the Monkey Bubble out and making Strong Bear jump into a situation he is not going to win, and Modify 99 to 100 are going to take the first point of Nepal.
I mean, that was such a long last fight battle, going back and forth, but the key mistake, I think, from Firefight there, they just didn't ever re-engage. It's one thing that I gave them a lot of credit for early on in that matchup, was that they disengaged well. They made a decision to get out and not re-engage before the rest of the team was in. That time, though, Strong Bear in particular got caught out there basically at the end of the fight, right before the rest of the fight began. So a bit of a mistake right there for Firefight. So be on the lookout for them moving forward to hopefully hopefully fix some of those mistakes as we move forward. A little bit of a different composition in that the DPS have changed things up for the side of Modify, but otherwise pretty similar. And I say DPS, I mean, it's really Polar Bear.
Yeah, super. He's swapped over to this Sombra, trying to deny value, I think, to the Wrecking Ball, but he's going to see that Winston, and he's going to see that Pharmercy, and he might think he's got to make a swap back now. They're running the classic Rein D.Va rush here, though, with the Mercy, or sorry, the Moira and the Lucio. You Can't See Me almost getting a double boot kill there. He's going to commit the pile driver on Beans, and Instante with the charge kill on the Pharah. You can't be getting that close to the ground. You can't chase him into that room because you'll get punished by the Reinhardt, and now Hal 9000 on that Lucio, just trying to stay up, keep this contested so his team can regroup, but he gets hacked. He can't wall ride anymore. Super makes it back. He does get the pick, but he gets traded out. Sorry, not the pick. He DMX Whitman, but Instante and Beans are going to push forward and just deny this Winston any room here. Instante on the Reinhardt is just taking all of the space for his team and is taking out the Tracer as well.
Yeah, Instante just getting way more value than should ever be possible against this red out dive composition that is being run by Firefight. I mean, like you said, Josh just cannot be getting that low to the ground. It happened back on Village, and it's happening here in the Sanctum. Unfortunate, but where we're at right now is it does get back into the mech, and Instante does have the Earth Shatter.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for the Earth Shatter here now because there is no real shield to block this. And there goes the barrage. They take out Owl early. It gets eaten, the rest of it, by Whitman. But the Coalesce, that's the name of the ult, is committed here to keep them up. You Can't See Me, though. He gets the roll through onto Beans. Whitman trades out onto Chuster and has to commit this D.Va Bomb. Josh, is he going to be able to get it out? He does, barely on time to survive and take Whitman out before he can remech here. And now Modifier forced to retreat as the point flips over to Firefight.
Yeah, and the key right there, you have to disrupt the brawly style that Modifier currently trying to work towards, and that's exactly what we saw. Everybody just getting split up, not really able to stay together, and so they fall one by one by one. But now the huge ult advantage available for Modify. They can come in, and there it is.
And it catches the Pharmercy, and there's the Shatter. It takes Strong Bear out of the fight immediately. And the charge from Instante just to get close to Jost, not let him have that space back. But Chuster with the Deadeye. Oh, the D.Va got DMA'd, and there was nothing that they could do. Delirious Owl and Whitmitten going down, and Hal 9000 with a good boot kill onto Instante is going to clean that fight up.
I mean, that's exactly what you wanted to see, right? Coming in, using the ultimate, but then it just wasn't quite effective enough. Just able to really play spread out enough that it was just a little bit too far away. And now Josh approaching yet another ultimate here. The barrage could be big.
Yeah, and they're going to be looking in the back line. There is no shield, there's no defense matrix, and there's no defensive ult here. Oh, the damage! Beans takes out Jost, and then uses the Death Blossom to secure the pick onto the Mercy, and now the Monkey trying to commit here. Strongbear gets taken out by Instante, and the Coalesce from Hagel is going to trade out Chuster, and Modify looked like they're doing it again. Hagel gets booped off, though, using the Coalesce. He can't fade out of the way of that Wrecking Ball, and now it's just Hal 9000 once again trying to control this objective point. Josh being pressured down by Whitman and forced back. The Pharmercy forced out of the way, but Beans comes to back them up, and now the Mercy is getting pressured. Potato whips the pistol out, DMX Whitman. He's trying to prove to Whitman that he can be the Battle Mercy that Whit was last season. The Mind Squad on point, but it's flipped over to Modify. Super Polar gets knocked out, and the Monkey from Strongbear is going to recontest, but they're not staging together as a team here. Instante going for the charge. He gets stunned out of it and dropped low. Josh gets a free barrage there. Beans trades him out, but not before Owl and Whitman are taken down. And it's looking like this Wrecking Ball comp is going to be able to take the second round on Nepal.
And Hal 9000 was just living on the point for free for so long, and it didn't matter. Nobody was helping Delirious Owl with that recontest, but the ults come through.
Oh, the Monkey Bubble stayed up for just long enough, and the EMP comes out, catches 3. That's going to include both healers who are stuck in the room here, and the Beat Modifier are not out of this round yet. They refuse to go down without a fight in the Shadow. Oh! He catches both supports, taking him out instantly, and he takes down Strongbear too. Heroic ultimates coming out for Modify to stay in this round.
I mean, but let's not forget it's Super Polar who was able to pretty much just hold on that point for so long as the Sombra created the opportunity for the entire team to come in and recontest, and now already getting the opening pick here, and it's almost last fight territory here, Bard. We're in a top position for Firefight.
Yeah, they have the beat to engage, and they're gonna have to go in as a unit here. Super getting the hack onto You Can't See Me is absolutely hilarious, just taking him off the map as he's trying to do a sneaky setup. But Josh catches Super out of position, takes him down, and now the point is slowly flipping back over. Owl gonna make it in to try and keep the team up here, but there it is, the beat coming out from Firefight. They have the advantage, and now Chuster going to be using, oh, Beans with a double kill, takes down Hal 9000 and Josh with the pulse bomb, and Hagel's gonna commit the coalesce. They can't look for the resurrection here. Instante, he gets the charge kill, and it's the EMP to secure it. Modify with an incredible flip back are gonna take the first map of Nepal in this series.
Yeah, and off the back of two big crucial mistakes, I think, from Firefight, really opening the door, allowing for Modified to just take advantage and continue to grab those kills when it was most necessary. We're seeing it right now. That stick from Beans, absolutely crucial, taking out HAL 9000 as well. And, well, I mean, this is just cleanup kills after that. But, oh, my goodness. Bart, this is just... I mean, I feel so bad for Firefight, honestly, because they made the right decisions right up until that one point in which they made one crucial mistake the entire round, and it was enough for them to just barely not take any victory there. And so I think Firefight, they're going to be kicking themselves after that one. They probably know exactly what happened, not able to... I mean, you have to kill Super Bowler. I mean, you just have to. It just didn't die fast enough on that Sombra on the point. Bought enough time for the rest of the team to get back in, and then just an incredible play overall. Instante on the Reinhardt of all things, just taking control on the main tank. Listen, you thought Ball was a counter, but not to Instante. Not to Instante.
Yeah, now when you have that Sombra there to back you up, and I've got to say, they absolutely, in Firefight, should not be counting themselves out yet. That was two 99-99 maps that were incredibly close. Some clutch ultimates by Modify just to keep them in that. They really could have lost both of these points on Nepal. It could have gone the other way both times. So Firefight, they need to keep that mental up. They need to not let themselves feel like they're counted out of this. And they need to just push forward and keep doing what they're doing, because this is working. This comp that they're running is working really well. They just need to secure it, that little extra bump, and they go forward. They win these maps, and as long as they can find that little extra bump, they've won this. So they need to know that, and they need to keep their eyes on the prize here, because tilting after the first map happens to a lot of teams. You can't let yourself be one of them if you want to be competitive.
Listen, this is a game where there is, it's a best of 5, right? You have a lot of Overwatch left to play. If you let yourself get tilted in map 1, you are losing before you even get into the server. Really. I mean, you're taking what? Potentially a fifth of the game and just basically losing off the back of that? Don't do that. Don't allow that to happen. And Firefight, I don't think going to be allowing that to happen, because it was very close. You're right. Just barely missing that mark in both of these, and it was the last moment fight for both points. First on Village, then over towards Sanctum. So by no means out of it just yet. There's lots of Overwatch here left to play. And on top of that, like I said, just simple mistakes that were made, easily fixed. And so for that reason, I think that, if you're ever, looking back thinking, okay, well, what did we do wrong? I think they very clearly can find out right there. Specifically, I remember there was just a moment where Delirious Owl and HAL 9000 were just Lucio 1v1ing up on top. They were just both wall riding and 1v1ing over on Sanctum. It was absolutely hilarious. The rest of the fight was going on point. And then it was kind of over, and they were just still 1v1ing, and it was fine. It was a nice little reprieve there for just a moment. Did not get to mention it, but I thought it was hilarious, so I needed to share. But we are moving into our second map, Temple of Anubis. And this is, interesting. as
For
I don't
sure,
know
for sure.
exactly what the pool is, but typical Anubis, man. This is such a fun map.
Well, there are three 2CP maps in Overwatch. So those don't change with our pools. It's Anubis, it's Hanamura, and it's Full Sky. It's those three every time.
Oh, okay.
But for every other map, those do change. Anubis, though, is still a really interesting map here coming out because it's Firefight's choice. And I don't know about you, I don't think the second point is very good for Wrecking Ball or Winston, which is what they've been running on those tanks. But we're seeing here, they're going to pull out the double shield. And I like that. It might be them saying, maybe we're not a Wrecking Ball team. It's something we've been practicing, but we need to work on it still clearly. But we do know how to run double shield. So they're going to pull the double shield out and run it. And if that's the case, I love this pick from them. Because if you're a strong double shield team, this first point, absolutely incredible to just bunker down, get your damage out, get the Ashe, the Widow, the Junkrat, the Torbjorn, just set yourself up and just take every point.
The Junkrat is so powerful here, definitely. And I think that this composition clearly coming out, I think to answer the question of, like, what do you do on defense when you swap off of dive? Like, you just can't swap off of dive there on the second point. You kind of get rolled if you do. So definitely the adjustment that you would want to see.
Whitman! What is that spin? Knocks them all off, and the sleep onto Josh is going to be there for the follow-up from Hagel. Chuster getting rezzed, but it's a quick roll-through from Modify. Now the hack onto Strongbear, who's just trying to stay alive with the Mercy pocket. Chuster trades out Instante, trades out Owl before Whitman can take down Strongbear, but now the Wrecking Ball can just go crazy on this Ashe Mercy here, and Hal is going to be taken down by Super, so it's just Chuster trying to contest here as Potato gets taken down, and now Chuster, he's stuck in this tiny room. He just wants to stay alive, but he is going to burn himself to death, and that is going to be the end of the first point already for Modify.
And just under a minute in, and that was already some incredible shenanigans that we just watched. Hellnet 1000 going to be going over to the Brigida. Doesn't want to have anything to do with Whitman and that ball play. Really incredible stuff, just opening things up, knocking down the entirety of the defensive setup. And, well, it was a good setup, but it was not a long-lived setup, at least not for the time being. So coming in here, second fight, I mean, it's a big advantage. EMP nearly online, 96, 97%, and that could be the fight winner.
Oh, the hack in the rock. You can't see me. Forced to use Eat early, but Whitman gets taken down, and so does Instante, and You Can't See Me went from a situation where he was about to die to a situation where he has won the fight and can just hold W there. Firefight, a quick turnaround.
Well, that's sort of the power of You Can't See Me on the Sigma, able to just win in that 1v1, or more like 1v2 realistically. But like I said, though, this EMP is online, and there's not necessarily anything to contend with it other than an immortality field if Potato can hide away. So that is fight winner possibility.
Yeah, for sure. Even just capping 1 point here early on in Anubis can be huge because it is such a hard map. And there's the EMP. The mines are out too, and there is nothing but Bob that can be committed. Super gets nanoed, takes down Strongbear, and Stompa gets traded out. And there's the pile driver coming in. Chuster taking out Owl though, and this damage is just more consistent coming out from Firefight. They couldn't set up nearly as well on the first point, but Beans on the Widow and Super on the Sombra, as well as Whitman on the ball, they just cannot put as much damage as the double shield, double high damage DPS combos.
Yeah, and it was a really great adjustment there from Firefight to just play split. Don't allow for the big EMP to happen. That's all you had to do, and did that perfectly, as well as Josh getting out a pretty massive tire to start and deny some of that area. And we see Whitman going to be swapping over onto the D.Va, just trying to make some adjustments. I think more than likely trying to counter out both Chuster and Josh. Both of those characters can be countered at least a little bit by that D.Va.
Yeah, Chuster dropping very low, and you've got to think Instante as well, only staying on the Sigma for this Flux, and then they're going to make some changes, probably back over to that Reinhardt. And Beans, he's swapped over to a Junkrat of his own. He's already taken the Immortality field out, but Hal 9000 again taking down Delirious Owl, and You Can't See Me with the Flux catches two. Hagel and Beans taken down early, and Instante not even able to commit that Flux to engage here. But look at Super, he's built so much EMP so quickly.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of been the story of this this map so far. It's just super going hard on the DMP, making things work, and like you said, just one fight really committed, and that is the EMP. But this time though, a rally is available. Granted, you don't want to pop that too early, otherwise the EMP is going to be devastating. But if you pop it at the right time, definitely it could be a good counter. And Instante needs to pick this Gravitic Flux up very, very quickly. Maybe they combo that up with that EMP.
I think they will. Here's Super. He's just trying to bait out a defensive ult, and the MR is going to be there. 3 people caught in that, but Whitman follows it up, takes out Potato, and there goes the Immortality as well as the Bongos from Strong Bear. And here is Beans playing on that Junkrat. They're going to have so much extra damage. Bob forced to play behind that wall as Hagel takes down Strong Bear. Hal 9000 though, Whitman gets demeched and then taken down with the Bob there. The Nano being committed on the Stante might be a bit of an overcommitment by Modify here. They want to take a tick on this point, but it's not going to work, and that Sigma's going to be taken out of the fight.
I mean, in all fairness, that was just a huge commitment already. You know, we saw the Gravitic Flux, we saw the EMP get canceled. That was so massive. I think it was Hal 9000 who was able to cancel that out. I mean, that's just Brigitte for you. And so really, it's just Beans left with this Riptire. It's certainly a valuable ultimate, but not usually a fight winner on its own.
Oh, he's going to commit it early, and do they see where it's coming from? They do, but they aren't able to catch it as it takes down Beans, and that's a big early pick. A lot of damage now gone for Modify, who've swapped over to this Rush comp. They want that Junk to be in the fight. They want him there to be available, and Schuster taking out Super Polar is another big blow to Modify here, just trying to set up and get onto the point.
Firefighters sitting back, they're hanging out, they're putting, you know, kicking up the chair, putting their feet up, having a good time, because every single one of these picks is just another 15-20 seconds burned off the clock. And speaking of the clock, we're just about a minute left here, and there's, like I said, realistically just that Riptire, and I mean Whitman is going to have the self-destruct as well, so like that's there, but you can't see me as a Gravitic Flux. That's huge.
Yeah, and here comes the Riptire trying to probably bait out the Immortality early on. There it is, and they manage to take it out. Super gets Josh, who gets dropped low. The bomb's going to be committed behind. It catches no one as it falls into the corner instead of the backline, but Super with a second pick on the Strong Bear. The window committed from Potato just to keep his team alive with that extra healing output, and now Modify, they've set up on the point. They've capped 2 ticks just with the pressure of Super and that Riptire, and there's Beans in the backline getting one as Instante follows up on the damage for another. Modify, they're going to try and take this quickly. The Bob not able to contest his Strong Bear goes down. Schuster barely able to touch here, and are they going to be able to cap with time? They are. 17 seconds off the back of a big engagement from Instante, Beans, and Super Polar Bear.
I mean, you know, it's hard to pinpoint what went wrong right there for Firefight, to be honest with you, because it looked so strong. Right up until that last minute, it seemed like they had the resources. Everybody pretty much bled dry when it came to cooldowns, ultimates, and the like, but fortunately there for Modify, just Beans got into the back line, and well, it was a pinch. Instante coming through on the front, Beans in the back, and that is definitely a recipe for a disaster if you're a defending team. Those 2 players, not somebody you want to meet, pinching you in the middle and making it difficult for you to continue living on the point. And with that, yeah, I mean, we saw it, double killed for each of them. And so I just, very impressive, to be honest. That looked really, really good from Firefight all the way up until just the last moment. But either way, 17 seconds, that's not bad. Not bad at all. We are seeing a similar composition, though, here on the defense that the Modify, or rather that Firefight ran for Modify this time around.
Yeah, very, very interesting, though, with the double hit scan, the Kree and the Ashe coming out here. I think this is just a soul read for Modify. They know that Josh likes to run that Pharah, and they are going to run the Pharah counters with the double hit scan.
Well, I may have been watching some Disguised Toast, because this soul read is certainly going to be accurate and very effective. The double hit scan against that Pharah, I would imagine that Josh might be forced to swap.
Oh, Super! He's playing close, and as soon as Strong Bear jumps in, the bubble gets shredded, and he gets banned, immediately dropping, and that is why Winston is a hero that requires a lot of coordination from your team, because he gets absolutely shredded by basically any DPS.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That bubble couldn't even come through from You Can't See Me, and now there's the engaged bubble coming through.
Oh, Strong Bear, though, still taking a ton of damage. Josh maybe getting a little too close, taking a lot of damage himself as he gets pressured down by Instante on the Orisa of all heroes. Josh makes it back to his Mercy as Super is setting up again with Instante. And this hold from Modify, they're giving up as much space as needed to just stay alive. Hagel taking the high ground with Owl just trying to stay in this fight, not let any of their supports go down early. Hagel getting jumped on before immediately swapping sides, and he held on to his cooldowns to keep him alive as Super is now just looking for the pick here. The Mercy comes into the backline, but Whitman was holding that adaptive shield, and Super Polar Bear chases down You Can't See Me, takes out the Zarya, and now the Ana is stuck here. Super's gonna get shot by the Ana behind, knows that they're there. Oh, that anti is so good, but they're not gonna have the follow-up. Super with 1 HP backs out and survives thanks to Owl, and just trying to stand here as Beans takes the high ground. They do not want the Pharah to have this space anymore, but this engagement again continuing to come out here as Strong Bear gets taken out in Firefight. They needed to reset, they needed to wait it out, but they didn't, and now out of position, Super has caught 2 as Schuster goes down 2, and Super Polar Bear just looking very strong on the DPS this season.
Yeah, I mean, very, very much so. And, well, I mean, look, this engagement kind of still going on. The problem is it's all just the ults coming through, and they're just walking in without their full team. This is a little bit questionable if you ask me for Modified.
Oh, but the setup is strong here. The Immortality stayed up, so that anti-grenade is not going to get value. And Beans taking down 2. Schuster with a double kill of his own, taking out both supports, and that's going to be big. That might be this point finally flipping. But HAL 9000 dropping down. That bubble's going to keep them alive for now, as You Can't See Me takes out Beans, but Super takes down Potato, and now the support here is just being able to stay alive, but it's now just Instante. He commits the bongo to fight, to stall this fight out, but it's just not going to last.
I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit sad that they got rewarded for that one. A little bit of a stagger fight, but it did work out in the end. I do want to point something out that You Can't See Me was doing there. You Can't See Me actually controlled the high ground as the Zarya had some very nice jumps with the Zarya right click, and was able to get up onto the high ground. Made things very, very difficult for the 2 DPS up there.
Ooh, and they're stronger with the early engagement. He immediately gets flashbanged and taken out, though. So as we've seen how hard this point can be to push, we're going to see it again. The Bob committed from Beans there just to lock it down in case there was any follow-up. But there wasn't, as Strong Bear just died a little too quickly.
Yeah, and we'll modify it because of their stronghold there on point number 1, at least especially in comparison to the opposing side. They have a lot less time to hold this off, and they've got a pretty significant bank of ultimates to contend with the both tank ultimates online here for Firefight as they look to move in.
Oh, Strong Bear with the jump. Again, the bubble is good, and Schuster takes out Super Polar Bear. There's the Immortality, but it's not going to keep up the team in the grab itself. Instante taking out Josh. There's no more Echo in the backline, but Schuster just running rampant on that Tracer, gets a triple kill. Hal gets the res onto Josh, and Firefight, they're taking this second point very well. The Echo and the Zarya are going to be caught in that Sig ultimate, but it's not going to be enough as Beans pushes in, and now it is just Hagel on the Lucio trying to contest. Instante coming back as well as Super tries to come in, takes out Schuster, and Instante takes out You Can't See Me, but it's not going to matter because Hagel got taken down. He can't continue to contest, and Josh with the double kill is going to secure this point.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's what's kind of interesting. So remember when before on Nepal, we were seeing the more normal divey composition, you know, pretty much very strong meta composition coming through from Firefight, but there was a couple of key mistakes that really denied them the opportunity to win out on that map. Well, here they're playing the double bubble, the Zarya with the monkey composition, and that composition, it allows you to be a little bit more flexible. It's not as punishing if you make some positional errors, for example. And so I actually think that really, really helped the likes of Firefight to positioned themselves well to take this map, as it's now a 2-minute and 21 second advantage for Firefight against Modify, who, well, Firefight going to be on the defense first because they have the more time to push things through. But remember last time, it was less than a minute for Modify to take point number 1, Bard. So honestly, I'm not even worried. That's really where I'm at right now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how have Firefight adapted to the Wrecking Ball comp, but the Wrecking Ball comp isn't coming out. They're setting up here for the Wrecking Ball to play safe and not get booped off, but it's gonna be the double bubble coming out from Modify. This is so interesting.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, hey, you know, that was an interesting composition. Why don't we try that one? It worked for you guys. Let's do it as well. Modify, putting the shoe on the other foot, maybe.
Yeah, now Bean's going to be playing on the Genji. I think they're just playing for that Nano Blade as a win condition. Super viable in Harmony tier, and super on the Sombra. He's going to catch Josh early on the hack, and Instante can jump in here without fear of those mines. Josh, though, able to catch Beans, not even looking for Instante, but Super takes down Hal, and you're going to take that trade every day of the week as Potato gets hacked and dropped low by Instante, but Strong Bear with the double kill, taking out both tanks, and they've traded the tanks for the support here. The anti going in on Schuster and taking down Strong Bear. That's a good trade here, as Owl and Super are going to keep going in, and Schuster and Josh are just trading out onto the supports, and this fight is just going back and forth. Whitman coming back on the Wrecking Ball as Beans gets taken down here, and the OT is going to begin to tick away. It's just the tanks trying to contest here for Modify. Josh is going to get taken down, and now it's just You Can't See Me trying to contest while Potato comes back. There's the Immortality Field committed, but the anti catches You Can't See Me, and Potato's going to get pressured out. Modify are looking like they may actually be able to take this first objective point, but Owl left alone on point by Whitman, and they have to try and take Potato out early. Whit knows that is the case, so he's pushing in to catch them, and this is almost 2 ticks here for Modify. It's almost 2 ticks, and they're continuing to fight. Beans taking down Strong Bear, and if they win this fight, they're going to be going in with some incredible alt advantages on the next point. Whitman gets nanoed as he goes for the spin to win tactic. It's viable. It's a real tried and true tactic, and they are going to cap objective point A with that spin to win momentum, and they're coming in here with an EMP for this second point.
Indeed, and in the mid-fight, more than likely going to be building up to a blade. It is going to be a naked blade for Beans, but that doesn't really matter. That Riptire needs to be big, though.
He's just going to look to catch Hagel. He does. That's a 4-man EMP, though, as they just engage without Josh, but he comes back and catches Beans. Instante with the Primal Rage here, but he's going to get caught in the Flux, and it looks like Modify are not going to be able to have a miracle contest on this second point to cap it. They are not. It's just Owl now on the point. Owl and Whitman. There's the pile driver to do damage to Josh, but he gets immediately taken down by You Can't See Me. Owl has the beat, so they're going to continue to contest here, but there's the rock coming out from You Can't See Me, having a wonderful game on that Sigma, and they are not going to be able to contest for the side of Modify, but they are. Beans gets the contest, and here's the naked blade. The immortality comes out, and Josh just catches him with the mines, and it's going to be too late for Modify to continue recontesting there.
I mean, listen, it didn't work out in their favor necessarily, and we have Josh to thank for that, for the side of Firefight, because that was the sole reason I think that Modify didn't take point number 2 right there. Pretty much off the back of that kill on the main support, and then following it up to get a kill in the back line. Really incredible stuff from Josh. But I do want to say, what an incredible engage there from Instante. It didn't, you know, it ended up being a very sloppy fight in the end, but the engagement was so clean on the very first push towards A. That was just incredible. Instante was like eagle-eyed, knew exactly where I think it was Super Polar who got caught out on the Sombra, and it pulled the rotation of the Sigma over just a little bit, opened up the space right in there. He was zooming so quickly, saw his prey and pounced. Absolutely great stuff just from Instante on the Winston. Had to call that out because it was, I mean, it looked like honestly, it looked like a Masters play. I'm not gonna lie, it looked very good.
Yeah, Instante's got, this is his 3rd season in Harmony tier. He's got a lot of that experience under his belt. And now we're going to see how that plays out, as they are going to swap back to the double shield. Beans here, though, not running the McCree. Super's going to swap over the Ash, and Beans going to be playing the Reaper here just to contest that Monkey.
Yeah, pretty solid, but Josh, this is going to be the key player on the Echo. Now, pretty much, can you burn down one of these tanks who are so difficult to dislodge?
Yeah, Strong Bear, he's gonna jump in there, he gets the bubble, he uses his, he gets the help from the Ana too, and Beans is just gonna poke away at him. He's not gonna have any real room to stay up comfortably, and Super in the backline just gonna be putting away the pressure, and Beans, he's gonna catch You Can't See Me trying to go for a clever flank here, but he just gets caught by the Reaper and then dove on by the team dive coming out from a double shield meta here as Instante holds the bridge, and all 5 members of Modify just punish You Can't See Me, and there's Super catching Josh on the Echo and just punishing that aerial hero.
Yeah, and I've seen that happen for You Can't See Me a couple times now. Got caught out, especially on the Zarya, whenever really just trying to make an aggressive play.
Oh, and the Nano's coming out for Strong Bear here. They want to help him build up that primal rage, but Beans is going to take out Potato, and Hagel coming to Coalesce takes out Josh. Beans getting Strong Bear, and Hagel with 2, both DPS being taken out here with the help of that Bongo by the Moira Coalescence.
Very, very solid there defensively. A little bit maybe of an over-investment, I think you could argue, but there's going to be lots of ults coming online here for both sides, so it's really not that big a deal, especially if Whitman gets a Gravitic Flux online, but he gets knocked down. That's massive.
He gets knocked down, but there's no follow-up yet for the side of Firefight. And there's Josh. He's going to be locking onto that Reaper, using that objective as Owl's just following them around, not letting them control that high ground. You Can't See Me trying to push in and just can't. And now they all just turned on Schuster. He tries to get in that back line, but he's got to deal with 5 members of Modify. Hagel does get taken down, but Owl has the res as the Flux comes out, catches the Echo and the Mercy, both getting taken down here as Beans is going to commit the Death Blossom just to secure the fight, and they still have the Bob, and they're coming up on another Bongo Coalesce.
It's been adjustment after adjustment here for Modify, and they've been doing a great job of really just denying any of the attempts at adjustment that Firefight has been making. Now Josh swapping over onto another aerial hero. It's going to be the Pharah, and I mean, really, it's on to Schuster. Can Schuster find an opening frag with this pulse bomb? That's the key.
Oh, he's contested the point. He's trying to bait them down. You Can't See Me just really trying to take control of this high ground, not let them control it. There's the edge bash, but it's not going to matter. Wit getting 2. Schuster takes on Instante, but it's still a huge deficit for his team, especially as the res comes out and Instante rides once more on the battle cattle. Beans taking out Schuster, and Firefight, they just look lost trying to take this point.
They do. I mean, Strong Bear swapping over to the Reinhardt. I don't know what the thought process was, but it just didn't work out. That's the problem. And so now a plethora of ultimates. This should be over. Modify, looking in control.
Yeah, You Can't See Me just trying to contest Strong Bear with the drop, and there's Bob just gonna put the damage in, doing something, taking out You Can't See Me, and the mines, they will trade Beans out, but that's all that they found so far as Schuster engages, trying to take down Astante, but Hagel once again with the Coalesce takes him down, and Super with a clean double kill is going to win the map for Modify.
And, you know, there was times at which Firefight, they looked really good, particularly on the defense. But once we got to that second attack, it was, ironically, the modifications from Modify, making the changes, making those adjustments necessary mid-game, and realizing what was working and what wasn't working for their defense, and then, like I said, making the changes that were necessary. So with that, I mean, Modify, they're up 2-0, and this, I mean, it's 2-0, but like, man, Firefight has been in both of these games big time. It's really not been a, you know, it's not as if Modify has been taking this away with ease. They've certainly been pushed to the limit. And I mean, look, it was an 18-minute match, by the way. So like, you know, when the match was 18 minutes long, that it was certainly not a dominant victory for either side. So I'm just been impressed right now with Modify and how they realize, oh, hey, look, that's a neat comp. Let's run that. Smile. Just taking Firefight's own composition and beating them into the ground with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Modify, named for the ability to adapt to what their enemies are playing, are just adapting very well in both these maps. And it's going to come down to Firefight just showing us a little bit of that heat as they continue forward. They can't let off they can't let off the gas here. They have to keep pushing. They have to just really bring all of this energy and more to these next maps, which we will be seeing after our quick halftime break. So we will see you guys in just about 10 minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Overwatch Tranquility. We have a very exciting Harmony tier matchup as Modify are coming out of halftime up 2-0 over Firefight, but it has been, and we say this a lot, but this time we really mean it, a very close 2-0, 99-99, both maps on Control, and Modify with some killer adaptations to barely take 2 CP. I am Bard, and I'm joined by Vincent. Vincent, break down some of the chaos that we've been seeing so far.
Yeah, and it was chaos. Back and forth, especially there on Temple of Anubis. We were just watching pretty much every single time we were watching Firefight on the attack. They had a bit of a different look. And then once they moved over to the defense, a very solid defense indeed. But Modify then made that adjustment that you were talking about, basically taking Firefight's composition and throwing it straight back into their face. Making those small adjustments when necessary is so key to the game of Overwatch, and Modify have been doing that impressively. Also, speaking of impressive, I have been very impressed with Instante, the main tank of Modify, playing very, very well this evening. And on top of that, I mean, I was talking to you during the break. I was like, man, this guy is insane, really stepping things up. So for me, I think Firefight really need to do two things. Number one, try and shut down Instante on Eichenwald, which I have a feeling is going to be a little bit difficult, especially here on point number 1 and point number 3. And then number 2 is to try their very best to try and deny those modifications that have been coming through late into maps by Modify. So 2 things, they can do just one of them. I think they have a great chance of taking this map.
Yeah, for sure. And Instante, he's been a fan favorite since Season 4. Unfortunately for him, because he was on a team with Bard for 2 seasons, so he was on the brunt of the jokes a lot being on Modify. But now that Modify has been de-shackled from the memes, he is looking like a force to be reckoned with this season. And now we get to see something new from Modify as they're going to run, it looks like they're going to run the Echo Mercy, which we have not seen from them yet.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't seen Echo at all. We have seen, I think, Delirious Owl. She has been on the Mercy one time, on Nepal in particular, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that one, though. But nonetheless, on the other side of things, we're seeing something a little bit odd. We are seeing the Hog and Ball come through, and honestly, this is pretty effective right here, especially if your Hog's hitting the hook. So that's what we need to be looking for. Strong Bear, how many hooks can you hit? Make them count.
He's got to be careful, though, because there's the sleep already coming out onto You Can't See Me, dropped incredibly low as he also gets antied. But like I was going to say, there's an Ana and an Echo and a McCree for him to play against, and there's the Disintegration Beam coming out from Beans. Those tanks are not going to stay alive for very long if you are not careful, and Beans taking out Josh as well, putting on a clinic with this Echo. Whitman will get demeched by Hal, and Owl's going to get taken out. Hal 9000 on the Zenyatta, making a case for his team to come back and recontest, but Potato stuck on the high ground, and now Beans with the chase is going to drop them very low. And You Can't See Me getting in the backline, taking out Hegel, and now there's no supports alive for Modify, but Instante with the charge takes out You Can't See Me. Josh trading out onto Super as Beans is just trying to take down Josh. Whitmitten on him too, but the double support is going to keep him up just long enough for Schuster to demech Whitmitten. Owl comes back on the Mercy, gets the resurrection onto Instante, so their main tank is back in this fight, and they have the Mercy to keep them up. You Can't See Me returning on the Wrecking Ball as Strong Bear takes on Instante, and it looks like Firefight, they've managed to turn this around with less than 2% left. I say that, but Super comes back into the fight, gets another pick, almost forces them off as he takes down 3. Potato and Hal also dropping as Josh trades him out, but Whitmitten on the Baby D.Va is going to take out Josh and cap the first point. You Can't See Me, he has to get out here. What was that fight from Modify?
The Baby D.Va clutch. That's what I care about. Oh my goodness. Just continuing to commit there in the stagger fights. And well, I thought the hero was You Can't See Me, because You Can't See Me took down Eagle there and really opened things up. Well, little did I know that it would be the D.Va of Whitmitten gonna be coming through in the baby form as well. So ults are both sides coming in. It's now a bit of a chaotic
Joe,
fight.
she gets antied. He drops too close to the ground and taken out early, and now Whitman can just contest on this backline and drop them low as Instante with the flank charge takes down Schuster, and it looks like he is gonna get rezzed by Potato, but they're still down so many as Potato gets dropped low and taken out by Beans, and there's the flank shatter taking out Hal 9000. There's not gonna be a chance to keep them in here, and this high ground control is just not going to be sustainable for the side of Firefight. And now Modify, they've got such a forward hold and the high ground position.
So Instante got the flank charge and got like kind of punished for it. The team bailed him out, and so he was like, you know what we need? We need the flank shatter. Actually, that was what it was missing, and he gets it and does it credibly. Doesn't get punished. I love it.
Ooh, you can't see me, no! He goes for the pile driver, but it's on the wrong part of the map, and he gets pushed off to the side. Instante, once again, getting the charge kill on the Pharmacy here, taking down the far with that charge, but Josh and Hal 9000 to get in the backline as the res came out onto Josh, and that barrage is going to be enough to do some damage. And now it's just Josh on the objective point because Hagel, trying to deal some damage out themselves on the flex support, takes out Hal 9000 as Instante gets another charge kill onto Josh. Stop this man now. Do not let him keep doing this. He should not. And there's the shatter. Schuster gets dropped and then charged. Instante just trying to pad the stats on that Reinhardt as the damage is going to come out from Beans. Hal 9000 with another slip up is going to fall off the map as Whitman punishes You Can't See Me, who's now just fighting out here alone. And Josh, he's just going to contest this objective point for as long as possible before being taken down. And now Potato has to back up or be punished by Modify.
So, Bard, you know that meme where it's like, you know what we need? It's more cowbell. I feel like that's exactly what Instante is doing, except it's more charges. It's just continuing to press the shift button every single time, and it's working. So who cares, right?
Oh, and now there's going to be more charge because Bean, he's swapped over. He charges, but he gets caught in the trap because Strong Bear slowed him down there, and the Shadow's going to come out right into Strong Bear's shield. That's 50 damage to the shields there. It's still value as he pushes forward, and there's another charge. Potato forced to get out of there. Oz the Moira forced to use that fade, but the objective point, it's still pushing. They're in a last fight territory already, and there hasn't been a solid fight here for Firefight on this third point. And now Instante, they're just going to wait for him to come back on this Reinhardt, and now they are grouped and they can push, and they have some ults to commit here.
I said the key was stopping Instante. That's not happened just yet. As soon as Instante goes down, it is a hold. But how long can that work? Because look at these biotic grenades. I mean, Hegel's been incredible with them and continues to get the purples in the back line.
Yeah, now Instante, he's just playing this corner so well. He gets hit by that dynamite as the bubble comes out onto Strong Bear, but now that the bubble's gone, that defense matrix, it's gonna have an advantage. There comes the mines as they search for this Junkrat in the backline. Looks like Beans is gonna trade it out as Super Polar gets taken down by that Riptire. It's a 1-for-1 on the DPS, but the burst damage from Josh not being there might be enough for Modify to try and take another fight here, but Beans, he's just staying in this backline. Instante, he's gonna come to save him, and there's the bomb. Oh, that might be so smart for Whitman, and it is. It catches Potato as Hagel takes down Strong Bear, and they're coming back into this fight. The Nano onto Beans. He might be able to burn this Bob down, but instead he's going to swap over onto an Ash of his own. Might be able to commit the Echo Bob. He does. The Echo Bob is up, and Super Polar has this Deadeye, takes out Josh, and the ult's being committed by both sides here as the Echo is down. Whitman out of that Diva mech as Josh with the trap catches the Echo. It's almost the same as a charge there, and now Strong Bear is just trying to push forward, but he is split up from his Zarya. Now they are together. There's the bubble to keep him up as the Dynamites continue to roll out here from Schuster. That's so much damage over time onto Instante, and they just need to find a punish here as the stun goes out onto You Can't See Me. He does get the bubble up on time to save himself. Owl just trying to stay up here as they keep getting hit by these Dynamites, and they come around. The Shatter coming out here from Strong Bear is going to make enough room for Josh, to get the damage. Beans trading out Strong Bear, and You Can't See Me before being taken out by Schuster, but it's not going to be enough, and Modify, they have to back up here.
I mean, just barely enough to really defend against the onslaught that was the entirety of Modified Firefight. They're in a tough position, but they do have what I think will be a slight ult advantage coming through, especially if You Can't See Me can pick up another Graviton Surge. There's really nothing else on the side. Super Polar just with the Deadeye, so needs to make something up with that. Maybe Beans with the duplication.
Yeah, we are going to see the nano boost here, and it is going to be available to go on to Instante if they just want to hold W with that DM up on him. There's the death. There's the Deadeye. Josh gets traded, takes down Beans early, but they do have the Mercy, so they're going to look for that. Beans, he does get rezzed. There's the stun on the Strong Bear, and the Nano out on the D.Va, who can just pressure the backline. He takes down Hal, and Instante trades out Strong Bear. Rein for Rein here. The Bob is committed all the way in the back. He's just going to get absolutely burned down, but Josh has time to use his tire and just commit on to Beans, taking him out. Super getting traded out as well as Wit gets taken there. Instante looks for the shatter, but he does not seem to catch enough there. Strong Bear takes out the baby D.Va, not letting him stay up, but Strong Bear getting charged by Instante here, and they might be able to punish Strong Bear on time to come back in, but it's not going to matter. Strong Bear actually getting the punish onto Instante, who gets rezzed, but Owl is going to be taken down, and there it is. It's just going to be up to Beans, who's duped on the Ashe, to contest this objective point back to the Echo as the dupe phase, and he's just trying to hold on here, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough unless Whitman can touch. He can. The beat comes out to protect them as Schuster is going to take down Whitman, and Modify are going to be stopped on this third point.
Yeah, that was a nice beat from HAL 9000, really well timed actually, in order to deny anything from that self-destruct that came through. But all things considered, a very solid hold. Firefight, they are not out of this yet, and I think it really just came down to a couple of things, right? First of all, Josh, lots of damage coming through on that Junkrat. Really, really strong on that character. We saw it earlier today on Temple of Anubis before the halftime. So it's really, really not surprising that Josh was able to pick up the frags there. But maybe a lack of actually any sort of swaps coming through. I think that maybe Superpolar needed to swap off of the McCree. Yes, was doing work, but it just didn't seem like it was quite enough. So some maybe question marks for me in that last push, or at least 0.3 for Modify. Otherwise, though, they look incredible. On now to the attack for Firefight. They're looking to play just kind of the standard Rein Zarya brawl type of composition, and on the defense, it's more of the same, at least more of the same that we saw over on Temple of Anubis for the defense. Just the Orisa Sigma double shield, and this time with Delirious Owl and Eagle both playing the Batiste and the robot. What am I saying?
The Zenyatta.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be difficult here. Brawl needs to push forward into a ton of poke, and these tanks have to be really careful, because if they get shredded by that Discord Echo combo, they're not going to have a good time no matter how you look at it.
No, they're really not, and that's the key. You know, whether or not that combo can be effective.
Ooh, HAL 9000 though with a really good early pick, putting in a Zen volley of his own, taking out Delirious Owl, but he gets traded out by Hagel, and now Beans, he's maybe going to overcommit here. He gets taken out by Schuster, and now the tanks, they have to be very careful. Instante and Wit, though, they're going to trade two out, taking down Strong Bear and Josh on that Echo, and there's no res for either team, as Hagel, with the halt combo from Instante, is going to put a volley right into the side of You Can't See Me, and it looks like Modify are going to have time to reset here.
Yeah, and that's just playing this composition perfectly. It's all about the long-term damage, backing up, resetting, then putting more damage down the line, and that's exactly what we saw happening there. And we see some adjustments. You Can't See Me on Sigma. Now is Strong Bear sticking with the Reinhardt, so just trying to get a little bit more shielding to contend with that high damage output coming through.
Oh, and here's the speed coming out with the Lucio from HAL 9000. Beans and Josh are going to trade, and now You Can't See Me takes out Instante. No main tanks for either team, but there is a distinct lack of Zenyatta for Modify here. You Can't See Me is going to take down Owl, and now there's a distinct lack of healing as the Coalesce comes out here. Potato just putting the damage through those shields to take out Modify off of this first point, and this is a really good push time here for Firefight.
And I mean, listen, we've been talking adjustments all day long, Bard, and that was a great adjustment there this time from Firefight, because they saw, okay, listen, they're playing more of this poke composition. They're playing quite close by, though. We can swap to the Sigma, swap to the Lucio, get up close and personal, and pretty much break that hold before it really even gets started. So really great stuff there from Firefight, but now they've got to contend with the high ground. That might be a bit more problematic.
Yeah, they really have to find a way to force Modify off this high ground, and that might just be a speedy brawl right up through the stairs. They look like they're thinking about it, and Whitman and Super, they know what they're looking for, but it was a fake out. Beans, however, gonna be swapping over to a Reinhardt of his own with that Echo duplication, and the Shatter is gonna take out Potato and HAL 9000. Schuster with the trade, but it is only one as Beans just running rampant with that duplicate.
Well, it was, you know, a slight overinvestment. You know, 4 ultimates really weren't necessary right there. But all that being said, there was a pretty significant investment on the other side too. So coming in here, it's really just going to be Wit. Can Wit pick something up with this Gravitic Flux to deny the area?
Yeah, that's exactly it. He's got to find something with this Gravitic Flux, and hopefully he finds it before the beat comes online for HAL 9000. Josh is going to take out Beans. A Super is going to trade out onto Schuster, and Hagel taking out Josh. The Zenyatas have been disgusting from both of these teams here, as Hagel is just going to flank behind. He's just going in there free. He's going to commit the trance just so he can keep flanking. HAL 9000 just trying to stay alive on the high ground. He's getting poked out by Super. He knows he needs to catch that Lucio, not let the beat come on. But Potato's going to take down Hagel finally after he takes down Strong Bear. Beans is just pushing in, trying to put pressure onto You Can't See Me. Take that tank out, as is your want as a Echo player. But You Can't See Me and Josh are just going to trade it out, getting 3 picks there, and Strong Bear is going to push back in and take out Instante. And now Super, alone on this high ground, is finally going to face the disintegration beam of Beans.
I mean, that was just an incredible fight back. Eagle doing their best Jonak impression right there, honestly. Season 1 Jonak, that's prime in the back line, just winning things out for the team, but it wasn't quite enough. And here comes the re-engage.
Oh, and there's the Flux coming out, but the Deadeye catches Beans. Whitman gonna take out You Can't See Me, as the dueling coalescences are each gonna trade. Super, though, with the Bob, he is in fact going to do something. As Super gets a triple kill, and Potato is forced to run back to the spawn room in hopes of not being, what's the word? Staggered. Not being staggered here.
Listen, we're both struggling with words today. It's okay. It's a little late. We will recover. Yeah, exactly. And so Josh, really the sole player with an ultimate online left in this game. About 1:40 left. Needs to do something with it.
Ooh, Super. That's a big pick. And Instante swaps over to the Reinhardt and immediately gets a 2K, taking out both tanks and HAL 9000 for a 3K. A Super and Instante have just been running havoc all night and are going to continue to do that with this Ashe Ryan combo.
I'm pretty sure that Instante swapped off of a supercharger. I'm just now realizing. I took a note of it earlier, and yeah, Instante, that's a huge fight winning ultimate. That Instante's like, no, Reinhardt, I'll take that. And in fact, Josh, in wasting that duplicate, now has to swap over onto the Junkrat. So it's do or die time. Minute left on this clock for Firefight.
Oh, they're just trying to run this very hard brawl, but Super is going to continue to get this damage in the backline. There's the Dynamite, but Strong Bear, he's just going to hold W with his team and take down Delirious, and Josh takes out Instante. Super finally trades him out from that high ground, but that area advantage is not going to help him when his team is just getting bulldozed by this heavy brawl. You Can't See Me takes out Beans, and now it's just Hagel and Super forced to try and stay alive here. They have to focus the same people. Owl, though, comes back, takes out You Can't See Me, and if they can continue to contest here, Instante is coming back too. This is going to be a huge contest if Modify are able to pull this off. HAL 9000, he's getting dropped low, and Strong Bear coming in the back line. There's the McCree just trying to take Strong Bear down, but instead they catch HAL 9000, and Whitman is able to touch the point for the contest. The Coalesces are once again dueling on the objective point here as Beans takes out Strong Bear, and Bob, he's just going to sit in their back line, but he might have gotten launched too far. Potato forced to play farther up, but it doesn't matter because Whitman and Beans and Super are in the front line just taking out Firefight, who aren't going to be able to touch. Modify are going to take this map, and they're going to take the series with this third map fight. And now Firefight, they're fighting just for this map differential on this fourth map.
They certainly are. It's already, yeah, that victory, like you said, for Modify, and it's looked just really good all the way through already. Modify, I mean, look at this. Instante just swaps to the Reinhardt and then just starts to absolutely destroy the opposition put in front of them, and it's just, it's a pleasure to watch, I'll be honest. Beyond that, though, just solid defensive hold there on point number 2 of Eichenwald. It was that high ground that was the problem that could just not quite be solved, and it took so long to try and dislodge. And then when the recontest came through, it was all over. No real opportunity for Firefight to try and re-engage off the back of that. Modify played it perfectly, actually, when you think about it. Just I think it was the Ash, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know who it was. It was Beans. No, it was
Super is on the Ash.
That's right. Super on the Ash, playing all the way back and just sitting on the cart while that entire fight was going on. So that cart continuing to roll back, and it just created enough time and space for the recontest to come through. The respawn's there with that respawn advantage, and so bada bing, bada boom. You got a map 3, and so like you said, just fighting for the map diff is Firefight. But I mean that was, as crazy as it sounds, it was 2-3. That was our most dominant map so far. That was the best that I think Modify have looked, and they didn't even take all 3 points. That's where we're at right now. So it's been a crazy night of Overwatch, and we have at least one more map to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be crazy to see how this plays out on this 4th map here, because Firefight, they want this last map. They need this last map control. It can be a huge game changer later on in the season to have that extra map for the map differentials. If you're tied in the scores against other teams, you can win with the map differential here to go forward onto these better standings going into stage 2 and going into the playoffs. So it's going to cost them a lot here if they aren't able to catch this 4th map. But even now, they look incredibly close in this fight here. They're continuing to play super well against Modify, who, I mean, Firefight are a brand new team, and they are taking it to a team that's been back-to-back grand finalist appearances in Harmony tier. So this is nothing to scoff at. Firefight have been looking very strong.
Yeah, I mean, they really have. It has been some individual step-ups for me that have been some of the most impressive. Josh is one of those, just really stepping things up massively over the course of this series. HAL 9000 as well. I will say that I think that You Can't See Me has been caught out a couple of times, and I don't necessarily think it's their fault, more along the lines of just some really good team play there from Modify to punish some maybe slight mispositions and that sort of thing. So I'll be on the lookout here. I think that's going to be kind of a key for this map. If we see Firefight take it away, is You Can't See Me making some adjustments on that off-tank position and really stepping up massively.
Yeah, Firefight here, they've picked Route 66, and on the defense, they're going to be pulling out the double shield here.
It's interesting that they're doing that double shield, because it's kind of been hit or miss, right, for them thus far in the series. And this time they're like, listen, we're rolling with it. We're gonna keep trying it until it works out.
Yeah, and they're gonna keep trying this double shield here, and it's been very interesting to see Modify maybe doing their homework on some of these maps. They know that the double shield here is probably what they want to run because they already have the double bubble prepared.
Yeah, and this double bubble can be very, very strong at dismantling the double shield competition, as long as you're able to split off a couple of these players and get that bubble down in position to deny healing. That's really the key. That's where you start to take advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting here. They're just playing very slow around the back line, and there's the engage from Instante. The bubble comes out from Whitman to keep him up, and he gets the engage on its Baptiste, force the immortality early before Super even has to do anything to try and bait it out. Hagel taking out Strongbear, and that's Zenyatta as the shield break was enough. Josh, though, going to trade it out onto Hagel, and now the Zen and the Ashe just being pressured by Instante here, as the Beans is trying to take this duel with Josh. Owl's gonna get the res, but Instante taken down by a rock. But look at Firefight, they haven't contested the point yet. It's pushed all the way around almost to the end, and it's just Schuster who's even close, as Whitman showing off that Mercy tracking, trying to catch out Schuster, but it's gonna be Super and Beans who get the next 2 picks, taking out Schuster and Hal. But Josh continuing to show DPS dominance tonight. It's gonna take out Whitman, and as Strongbear trades out Super, and this fight suddenly has flip-flopped back into the favor of Firefight.
And Beans has not necessarily been hitting those big flashy headshots, but it's really more about denying positioning. It's about just being a threat. And well, speaking of threatening, those imprecites certainly going to be terrifying for the defenses. Now, the offense moving forward into the crux of Big Earls.
Yeah, now they're gonna push back around and try and play with the team here. Instante just being pocketed by that Mercy in the front line, taking out the Immortality field, baiting it, and then forcing it early, but he's just gonna get traded out here. Owl gonna get the res on the Whitman, who got taken down early, and Instante is gonna be the trade for that, as the Flux now comes out on to Whitman, but the hack from Super, you can't see me, he gets hacked out of his Flux and discorded, and now he's dropped incredibly low. Beans gonna come up on the flank and take him down, and there's the EMP, it catches 3 of the 4 people alive. Hal 9000 not EMP'd, but he doesn't have the beat to counter it. Now it's just Josh and Potatoes. Josh getting a good pick on Whitman, and he might be able to turn this around, but Instante's gonna trade him out before Beans takes down Potato, and now it's just Schuster trying to hold on to this point, but it's not gonna happen. Modify are gonna take the first point on Route 66.
And a pretty solid push, all things considered, for Modify. They have put themselves in a pretty good position considering the ult bank that they have. We, of course, see the Graviton Surge online here for Whitman, as well as Instante with the Primal Rage. So, you know, that's going to give them an opportunity to start and move things along, and that's exactly what Instante's doing.
Ooh. Beans with a brutal headshot on a Hal 9000. Both supports on him there to give him all the damage needed to take a tank out, let alone the Lucio trying to get back to his team. And now Strongbear, and you can't see me, pressured out on this corner by Instante as Beans. He's just going to keep taking these aggressive peeks here and let Super play in the back line, taking out Schuster. And you can't see me, they try and pressure out Beans on that Widowmaker, but it's not going to matter because Instante's there to back him up. And now Josh, he's able to take the pick onto Super. That's not going to matter because his team is down by so much. Instante once again just jumping in on these low players, and Hal 9000, he's just trying to harass this Widow, not let Beans get any value, but it's not gonna matter because Modify are gonna push straight through the second point.
Yeah, and we saw it right there. I said the crux here was you can't see me. And it's just been so very good for Modify to basically force You Can't See Me into poor positions and make it so difficult for You Can't See Me to support the rest of the team. In fact, now swapping over to the ball because of that, because Instante, as soon as You Can't See Me is just slightly moving forward, has put down a bubble and pretty much made it impossible for the rest of the team to support them.
Yeah, and there's Instante once again just playing in his backline. He forces out another Immortality field being forced from Instante here as he just primals away into his backline, and Josh, he's just getting ragdolled around like the doll of a kid who's maybe a little too excited on Christmas. And now Hal 9000, he's gonna pay the price for that, trying to push in there and contest that objective point. And now Potato dived by Instante, but Josh, now he gets his revenge for that primal battering, heading the headshot, taking Instante out of this fight as Josh just continues to push forward. He's shown no fear all night. The trance can come out from Hagel, but he's still gonna keep looking for these picks. But Super, he's gonna be playing in that Transcendence, and he takes Josh out as this fight continues to go forward. You Can't See Me taking down Beans on that Widowmaker with the pile driver, and now Modify looking like they are forced back just a little bit, but maybe not. It looks like they are just regrouping, waiting for the Widowmaker. And Beans, oh, they're trying to spawn camp him thinking he's going to be Widow, but instead he's playing this McCree, and now Hal 9000 has to be very careful to get out here, and You Can't See Me just trying to escape on the Wrecking Ball as Super punishes Hal 9000 for that aggressive positioning, and now Modify up a player and up a healer are going to be aggressive here.
Hal 9000 getting caught out for the second time in the background, but EMP comes through.
Ooh, the EMP and the grab. They had no Immortality to save that and no beat to keep them up either. Hal 9000 manages to take out Hagel, and Potato gets Instante, but Hagel's gonna get resurrected by that Mercy as Potato takes down Owl. Potato being a DPS player all on his own with that Baptiste rifle there, and he's going to get a third here on Whitman. Potato running wild, just trying to take back the objective point for his team.
Absolutely great stuff there to just close things down. Just about 2 minutes left on the clock, and You Can't See Me gonna have the mines available. Team those up with maybe Josh on the Hanzo. That could be a very strong ultimate combination, especially because there's really nothing online now for Modify. They just have Delirious Owl with this Valkyrie, and she, you know, is going to be able to get value, but it's not necessarily a fight-winning ultimate.
Yeah, that's a good swap here coming out from Modify, swapping over to this hard brawl comp. Hagel, though, and Owl not swapping off of these poke supports, and that is going to cost them as Hagel gets taken down. The res is going to be there for him, but they might not have the sustain to survive this minefield. The Super takes down Hal 9000, but You Can't See Me trades out Instante. Probably due to that lack of sustain. Super looking for this backline contest, looking for the hack. He does get the hack on the Strong Bear, who's also been discorded, and now just has to be very careful not to be taken out during this fight. He's playing so far back enough that Josh gets picked off by Whitman, and Super is finally going to take down Strong Bear. And there's the hack on a Potato. No mortality field, but You Can't See Me with the double pile driver. He takes down the Zarya and the McCree. Instante takes out Hal 9000 as he tries to contest here, pushing them back, and Modify, they're just not going to be able to contest again with these support lines, I don't think.
Hal 9000 needs to stop with that aggression. They're basically playing 5v6 right now because of the aggression that Hal 9000 is coming through. It's just not working out very well, and so definitely needs to be playing a little bit more passive. Play with Potato, help them out and get that, but a big ultimate bank available for Modified to take this.
Yeah, and there's the trance to let them engage, and there's the high noon from Beans, the immortality being forced out as the Sombra EMP does come out. You Can't See Me gets taken out by Beans there on the back of some stuns, but Strong Bear setting up in a different corner this time is going to take on Instante, and Josh is going to take out Owl. Schuster with the Bob will take out Whitman, and it's just Beans left alive here, and Modify, they just aren't able to recontest here.
That's exactly what I wanted. Hal 9000 played it passive, played with the team, had huge impact in that last fight. Big boop onto the tank line, taking massive damage off the back of the Dragon coming through from the Hanzo, and on top of that was able to support the other support player and effectively push them away. So exactly what was necessary. A little bit of an adjustment there. You know, maybe a little bit rough there on the opening stages of point 3, but only thing that matters is what happens in the end. And at the end, beautiful stuff. We are in a bit of a pause right this moment, but all things considered, a very solid hold for Firefight. Modify, you know, they look very strong on those first 2 points. But with that being said, I mean, Firefight, they were able to hold very strong on point 3.
Yeah, we are, I think, going to go to a quick pause here. Beans has lost power. He is in Houston with the rolling blackouts. This is something that Modify was prepared for. They do have a ringer with the sheet filled out. They just need to get him in and get everything approved. So we're going to go to a quick break so that they can get that ringer in, and hopefully everything will be fine for Beans. Maybe he got his power back a couple hours ago, and hopefully he gets it back soon too. So we'll be just right back, guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Overwatch Tranquility. A little bit of a bug there, a little bit of a goof. Beans lost power. He's in the rolling blackouts in Houston right now. Or hope he's staying warm, hope he's staying safe. Modify, their ringer appears to be asleep, so they're going to pull in the ringer extraordinaire, Hard Reaper Bot. And now, Vincent, you don't know this, but there's a bit of a history with Hard Reaper Bot. This is his return to Trank after so long. In Season 3, there was a team who was missing a player. I can't remember who it was. I was casting Vila, and Hard Reaperbot made his Trank debut, and he just rolled. And I am hoping to see Hard Reaperbot has maintained those skills that he was bringing all the way back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, that is, it's a meme and a half is what it is. And honestly, hilarious that this is the return, not just the first. But either way, it's unfortunate, like you said, hope everybody is staying warm and safe over there. I mean, listen, I thought I lived in the South. I thought I lived in Georgia, but it is freezing over here too. And we don't even have, I mean, it was snowing today, but nothing was sticking. But we don't even have snow and ice on the ground. I can't imagine what it's like over in Houston. So definitely hope everything is well over there for Beans and everybody who is dealing with everything. But yeah, in general, it is what it is, right? that's kind of the way it goes. And honestly, I don't want to put any Ringers down, but I'm not even surprised the Ringers asleep. It's just kind of what happens sometimes.
Yeah, well,
man.
Beans got his power back, so you don't expect to be playing. He's an approved ringer in case this happened, but Beans had his power back. Beans went 3 maps just fine, and so yeah, I don't blame him either for being asleep.
Exactly, and that's just it. It's like a hey, come on in if you can, if you're available, and by no means need to be waiting on the on the map just in case there's like a map 4 last minute exit one of the players. Like that's just so rare. Anyway, we are getting right back into it, and so this should be interesting. I'm gonna have a lot of fun on the analysis on this one. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and I'm gonna have to go back and find the clip of Hard Reaper Bot because man, this guy was good back in the day, and now he's coming back in looking to refresh those Trank numbers. We're gonna be interested to see how this goes. And Modify, they're gonna play around him. They know he's a one trick. They know Hard Reaper Bot only plays Reaper. He hasn't learned any other heroes. He only knows the one. And they're gonna lock the Mei with the double shield brawl here. So I think they know how to play around a one trick. They've had to deal with it for two of the last seasons.
I mean, listen, they've also probably played ranked. So if they played ranked, that definitely has happened before. And so I love it. It's exactly what you want to see. Taking advantage of a situation that's not ideal, right? Want to play the close angles though, and Hard Reaper Bot is on board, knows the strategies, knows exactly what's going on, and is going to be grouping up with the team and playing this close angle together. You'll love to see it.
They're going to play for this. They're baiting Hard Reaper Bot. They know he's a feeder, already forced to use that fade here, and just gets taken out. Unfortunate, maybe a little over aggressive, but here comes Modify with this close play. The wall used, they forced the bubble, and now You Can't See Me stuck in that backline just trying to push out here, but the contest is going to be so strong to Modify. The Immortality Field used to nullify that anti-grenade, and now Strongbear just has to stay alive. Another wall coming out here as Hal 9000 and Chuster are just going to try and take the back line, but look at Modify, 5v6 in this room, just playing so strong, trying to hold on for as long as possible. And look, Super and Instante, they're just staying alive for so long, able to contest this objective point before finally being taken out just on time for Hard Reaper Bot to come back, make that debut. He's doing the damage, building up that ultimate, and now he's going to be taken out to rejoin his team in the spawn room.
I mean, honestly, that's just so toxic. The Mei just burned a minute off the clock for free, basically. That's exactly what you want to do when you're playing with the one trick in your ranked games. Just, play Mei and sit on the cart. Nonetheless, though, a difficult spot as the recontest should be coming through, though Heagle does have a Coalescence online, so that could be something to look out for, as well as, well, pretty much everybody. Their ultimate almost ready for Firefight.
Ooh, and there's Strongbear pushing forward. He gets taken out by Owl there on the Baptiste. And Hard Reaper Bot, he's putting so much frontline pressure here. Whitmitten able to take down that Genji as the Wrecking Ball of You Can't See Me is just in the backline contesting Super. Super just making sure that You Can't See Me can't get that disrupt he got in the last fight.
Yeah, and that was really the Hard Reaper Bot just taking over the game, making the adjustments necessary, and really stepping up incredibly. It's Hal 9000 now trying to get something done, but going to be pushed off of that angle.
Yeah, Hal 9000, he's just going to be forcing them back here, and they just have to look for this good dive engage, try and punish Hard Reaper Bot. Instante, he gets stuck, and the Immortality's forced out with the mines, and there's the Blade without the Immortality to defend against it. Hagel going to commit the Coalesce. Super trades out onto Potato with that Pulse Bomb, but Josh is going to get two. Hagel and Whitmitten going down. Hard Reaper Bot, though, is still alive, finally taken down by Chuster, as Instante is staying alive with Owl here, and he gets the Shatter. Oh! He gets two. That's a big Shatter as Strongbear gets dropped low, and Super is still alive. Strongbear continuing to take this damage, but they don't have a support anymore. Super, he has to find the damage to help Instante here. He doesn't make it to that mega health pack that he was looking for. Super finally forced to recall. Impressive that he was able to hold it for so long as Hagel comes back and takes out Strongbear, and Josh, he's gonna get caught in this flux, and that's not where you want to be if you are a Genji player. He gets taken out by the combined efforts of Hagel and Whitman, who are pushing in here, and Hard Reaper Bot coming up on that Death Blossom for this next fight.
Yeah, I mean, that's where my eyes are at. I'm glued to Hard Reaper Bot with the Death Blossom. Certainly could be the fight turner, and that was a huge investment overall for the offense. They put everything in there, and they got basically nothing out of those ultimates.
Oh, and there's the Immortality countering countering the anti-grenade, but it's not going to last long enough. Josh swapping over to this Pharah, getting that aerial damage, but Hard Reaper bot, he's going to use the ultimate. He gets rocked. That's so unfortunate. He almost got the value there, but Josh with a good triple kill is just going to show that he can swap over to Pharah, and there's nothing they can do to counter yet.
Well, I mean, first of all, Potato, that was just an incredible biotic grenade. Really opened things up and won the fight without really any need for an investment. That being said, I just want to say, commiserations to Hard Reaper bot. That was the entire team playing against you. You had it, but everybody basically used their cooldown. The sleep came out, the rock came out, the rockets came out. It was just too much to contend with for one Reaper.
Oh, Strong Bear though is going to get taken out by Super, but Hal 9000 once again in the backline gets Hagel this time as Schuster going to trade out the enemy Tracer, and Stante just looking for these hog hook picks, and it looks like they're just playing for fun around the Hard Reaper bot. Sometimes in ladder, that's all you can do as well when you've got a bot on your team, and Hard Reaper bot, no, he's going to get staggered here in this fight.
No. Playing it slow. Doesn't want to go in without the team. Not going to be found out. Perfect stuff, but oh no, Schuster has found out, and Josh coming through with the ultimate in the spawn essentially, but it really hasn't been effective. Maybe just missed looking at where that was.
The good hook takes Josh out, and now with the Coalesce, they can contest this point. Instante with the whole hog's gonna take out Potato as well, and there's the damage onto Strong Bear on the hog, swapped to Mirror, and now Owl in here with Instante is going to take down Strong Bear. Schuster though is gonna trade out Whitmitten, and this fight might be a lot more contestable here, but Hard Reaper bot, he's gonna catch Hal 9000 in the backline and punish that aggression.
Yeah, I mean, Hal 9000 has been living there and is going to get punished just a little bit, though, by Super Polar. Not by the Reaper bot just yet. Delirious, she has a Amp Matrix available, so take a look over there. But overall, the ultimates are just so strong for the offense. They have them all.
Yeah, and they've got to be careful. This window really the only thing that can help out. Modify the immortality goes up, and Dev Owl is going to use that window to take down Josh, and this is going to be the fight for this final point. It's Whitmitten this time on the Reinhardt. Super and Instante are going to trade out those. Strong Bear with the nano is just going to stay up for as long as possible. A great hook to take Super out of this fight, and the beat to keep them in this means that this might be the fight for Firefight, but Hard Reaper bot, he's coming back, and that's so much damage for them. He's forced to use that Wraith step early, and he's going to get taken out. That's not something you want to see from Hard Reaper bot there.
No, just a bit of a frustrating time, but re-engage is in, and this could be possible.
Yeah, they're going for this fast re-engage. Oh, well, but it's not going to matter if I give it up.
It was a fast re-engaged, though maybe an even quicker demonstration of how to put down a re-engagement there. Schuster doing a great job picking up all the frags. So all things considered, this has been a very good hold for the defense. Hal 9000 going down once more there in the back line. Eagle and Hal just having the classic duel between the supports.
Ooh, but here's the hog ult, and there's only a minute for Firefight to push here. They've got to be careful, and Super's going to catch Josh. And where is Hard Reaper bot? That's the question. Is he going aggressive with his team? No, he's coming back from spawn, so now Whitmitten has to keep his team up while they're missing this frontline damage. And is it going to be the effective comp here? A good eat on that Fire Strike. Whitmitten still hasn't been able to build that shatter yet, but there won't be a shield to block him when he has it. Oh, but he's got to keep his team up. That bomb's going to be really good. The Hard Reaper bot, no, but Super, he gets the double kill. Josh is going to come back, though, with the Death Blossom, and Schuster's going to catch two of his own. Super with a triple, just trying to keep his team in this as Instante comes around from behind. A good hook onto Hal, drops him low, and Super's going to chase him, but it doesn't look like they're going to get the pick here, and there's only 20 seconds. Can they build the ults? Do they have the right ults? Hard Reaper bot, he has the Death Blossom. Can he combo it with Whitmitten? I don't know. They're going to look for it, but he gets taken down, and they swapped the shield right on time. You Can't See Me blocks the shatter. That's huge for Fire Force here as Hard Reaperbot gets taken down. And there it is. The nano onto You Can't See Me and the beat to keep him up as well. This is suddenly looking dominant for Firefight as they push their way through here. Hard Reaperbot not getting that Death Blossom off. A bit of a throw there at the end, and Stante just trying to contest. And there's Hard Reaperbot, but he's not going to get the value. Does take down Strong Bear, but that's it. And now Firefight pushing forward, and they are going to take the final map of Route 66.
Well, listen, Firefight not looking to give Torsen the mouth right there. Able to take map number 4, and like you said, those are very important. So definitely a welcome map 4 victory for Firefight, though I think it might be a little bit soured by the fact that Beans was DC'd. And hey, nonetheless, great stuff from both of these sides. Modify, though, looking very strong when, of course, we had the full 6 roster in the game, and taking things in realistically 3-0 fashion, but this goes down as a 3-1.
Yeah, just really good play, though, still coming out from Firefight all night. Good play coming out from Modify. I do have some unfortunate news. Hard Reaperbot has been released from Modify for the foreseeable future. He can be picked up. He is going to be in that Harmony free agents, but for now he won't be joining Modify for the next game. A good game overall, and we're going to be looking forward to some good games later on in the week. We have our Discord tier game coming out on Thursday, and tomorrow, an hour later than normal at 9:30. Sorry, yes. I'm in PST, so I got to change it over to EST. We're going to be having that Transcendence tier game coming out here. So some great games coming up. Please join us tomorrow on Thursday to see them. I have been Bard. I've been joined by Vincent. We've had the wonderful Hair Cavalier on production for us tonight. You can find all of our Twitters on the screen below, and you can join us in our Tranquility Discord by typing !Discard in the chat. It's been a wonderful pleasure casting for you guys, and remember, be good people.